Hi there, this is Noel Waldron with W2Q Beachfront Residences. And what I'm going to do here today is just give you a little bit of an overview on the partial ownership. This is going to be a very truncated version. If you'd like for a proper, more robust conversation, then we can book a time to talk, but let's just sort of get a sense of, if this is something that's for you or not. I gave birth to this particular program, the partial ownership, because I had a lot of people that were coming and they loved the project, they loved the concept, but they didn't have the money. They said, Noel, I love this, but I only got 50 grand. I love this, but I've only got 75 grand. I love this, I've only got 100 grand. I love this, but I've only got 20 grand. And I got the idea of watching how, with the Federal Reserve System, that they are looking at going to tokenization and fractional ownership. And similarly with Bitcoin and those things, it's all about fractional ownership. If you own shares in a company, it's fractional ownership. And so I thought, if we create a partial ownership program where people can get both the benefit of both being able to enjoy the facilities, but also being able to enjoy appreciation and cash flow. I mean, that's a win. That's a triple win. Now, I know that for most people, the ideal situation is full ownership of a unit. You want to own your own stuff. Makes complete sense. But the truth is, as 100% of zero is zero. You know what I mean? So if you're not in a position to do it, this could put you in a situation where you can generate the income, where now you could go into a full ownership opportunity down the road. You know what I mean? So at least it sets you up. In my opinion, it's better than the stock market. I guess because in the stock market, it's a zero-sum game. The stocks can go to zero. This real estate will not. And particularly with where we are and the quality of what we're doing and everything that's happening in our neighborhood, which we'll be getting into in this presentation. So this is just to give you a little idea. So let's get right into partial ownership and how it works. Okay, so partial ownership allows you to own or own a portion of real estate without taking on all of the associated financial burden of full ownership. Okay, and so we developed this hybrid program for you so you can leverage the robust Dominican Republic real estate market at a lower cost. So you can own as little as 10% of a unit. And so 10% of a unit in this instance would be about 19,000. After fees, it works out to about 19,600. That's for a one bedroom. This is top floor, the two bedroom. And we'll work out to 31,000 after fees type of thing. And then you've got a 25% ownership and 50% ownership. So depending on what you've got available to you, this is why I was saying at the beginning, some people said, no, well, I love this, but I don't have 150 grand, but I got 95, I got 50, I got 20, no problem. I would love to at least be able to take part, and enjoy some of this. So that's what partial ownership is designed for. So we are not a typical timeshare where all you do is you pay your membership fee and then you just get access to place to use. You do get access, which I'm going to get into in a minute, but you actually make money here. Okay, you actually are going to be on title with this. Once the building is registered with the city, you will actually be added to title. So it is actual ownership, and you get to earn both depreciation and cash flow, which we'll get to that in a moment. So the fees that are involved, it's a 1% management fee per year. And on the appreciation at the end, when the unit is sold, there will be 10% of that appreciation comes back to the house. Okay, for us to manage and organize, because there's a lot of work on the back end that we've got to do to service this. So this is completely turnkey and managing everybody that's involved on ownership of a unit. Okay, so it's a 5-year term for this plan. You'll enjoy the benefits of both appreciation and cash flow. Once the building is finished, the units will be rented out for short-term rentals or for vacationers, and you'll earn cash flow for 3 years. And those earnings will be shared proportionally to the percentage of ownership that you have. So what does that mean? If you own 10% of the unit, you get 10% of the profits. If you own 25% of the unit, you get 25% of the profits. If you own 50% of the unit, you get 50% of the profits. I would tell you this, by the way, if you can afford 60%, because to me, it just makes more sense to buy a unit outright because you can get financing on the balance of the 40%. You know what I mean? You can get financing on that. So, but again, teach their own, but I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna come with 50%, I might as well put in a couple more bucks and then just get financing for the rest. They do accept, you can get credit here from the banks. They do accept Canadian and American credit, your Equifax or your TransUnion, they will accept those in job letters and pay stubs the same way you would get a loan back home. Okay, so you can utilize that and take advantage of it. So just food for thought. So what are the potential returns? So you're talking about 7 to 12% per year on cash flow, and then an appreciation. And again, these are all approximates. It can vary, and then. As I mentioned earlier, if you go on ChatGPT, it will tell you between 8 and 10%. The truth is, for our area, we believe we're going to do much better than that. Let's just say appreciation was 8%, and let's just say cash flow was 7%. That's 15% per year. 15% per year. I mean, show me your mutual funds, show me your IRAs, show me your RRSPs. You know what I mean? Like those retire savings plans. None of them come close to touching that. And you have real estate. This is real estate. It's a hard asset, which you really need to have, particularly in inflationary times. So this is excellent. So if you own 10% of a unit, I'm going to talk about usage of the place. You get 15 days out of the year that you can use the facilities. You can come down and have your vacation, do your thing. If you own 25% of the unit, you get 45 days. And if you own 50% of the unit, you get 90 days. That's 3 months where you can come down and just hang out at whatever point in time throughout the year. There are no blackout periods for owners here, okay? So you can book it at any time, whatever's available on the calendar, boom, book it. And just keep in mind that somebody said, do you need to use the full time? No. And in fact, it's probably advisable to use less of it, because the less time that you're using, the more time it's rented. We're managing and running all the rentals, and we're doing that on a 70-30 split. Okay, so we're doing all the promotion, management, running it, the whole nine. You sit back and collect your money, and the cash flow is paid out quarterly. So on the rental, we'll be paying that out quarterly, okay, like this, and that's over the course of 5 years. So what are the exit strategies? There's 2 ways to exit this program. One is the sale of the condo unit. So once the unit is sold, so at the end of 5 years, the unit is flipped, you get your principal back plus your share of the return. So if it appreciated, let's just say you've had $50,000 in this, you get your 50 grand out, and let's just say the unit doubled plus another 50 grand. Or 60 grand or 70 grand or whatever that number happens to be, you would get your share of the earnings, okay? Like this. So that if you're a 10% owner, then you get 10% of the profit, etc. Okay, when the unit is sold. Now, you can also, the second way to get out of the program is you can sell your share of the condo unit. You have the right to sell your share of your unit at any time. The other owners get first rights of refusal to buy you out. So if you want to sell your share, we would send out a note to all of the other owners in the unit, giving them the first opportunity to buy it. If they're not interested, then it can be sold to anybody out in the open market, and we can even help connect you with real estate agents or brokers all across the country who would be happy to promote and to sell your share of the unit at whatever price that you're able to negotiate. Okay, like this, and so you get your money and you're out. So some people who have bought into the partial ownership, that down the road their financial situation is improved and they're like, I want to buy the shares, I want to own more of this, or they may want to make an offer to buy everybody out. It's up to you, of course, if you want to sell your share or not, but that's all within the 5-year time frame. And the reason we had to set a time frame is because you'll never have a time when everybody agrees to sell. So it's a 5-year term, but you can extend if you're loving it. Let's just say, for example, you're making cash flow, you're loving it, the place is beautiful, oh my God, I can't believe we got this place so amazing at this price, at this money, and we're making money constantly, and we're really enjoying this. An agreement extension is going to be sent out 6 months prior to the end of the term. You can sign up for a 2-year extension. If there's unanimous consent, you guys can keep going with the program. If there is no unanimous agreement, then the unit will be put up for sale as per the original agreement. And so the current unit owners, again, will have first rights of refusal to buy out any existing owners. And so it won't just be the owners in that unit. Anybody who owns units in the building, some of them may want to get ownership in the unit as well. So we'll be promoting that within first and then outside after. So if you have a friend or an associate and you're like, you've already got your use out of it, you want to flip it to your friend on an internal, meaning that it's not something that's being marketed outside, then of course you can always sell to your own family or friends if that's something that you want to do as well. Okay, because it's your unit, you can do what you want with it, well, your share of that unit. Okay, so but these are ways that allow you to exit from the program. You know what I mean? And somebody again may say to me, well, Noel, man, I don't like the idea of just a 5-year term and I want everyone only staying for life. If you didn't have the money to get into real estate, and you got to understand, particularly in the Dominican Republic, the prices are going up and the market's not waiting on any of us. 100% of zero is zero. Isn't it better to make your money work harder for you and have a place where you can actually come to hang out and stay when you want to? You know what I mean? Like this, and have the benefits of that ownership. You know what I mean? So it's something where very few investments do you get to enjoy the being out in a place in paradise, in a 5-star setting, and you're making money on top of it, right? So you get a bit of both. So, so whether you're coming in with 10% ownership or 25 or 50% doesn't really matter. But the point simply is that you for some of you, this may be your introduction to investing abroad in the Caribbean. And some people say, well, you know what, that sounds good to me. Let's get in for 20 grand. I'll get in for 50 grand. No problem. Let's give this a shot. Let's see how this works out, right? So those are tremendous opportunities. We've given you an opportunity to get access. And so that's the whole idea behind partial ownership, okay? Summary, you're gonna get strong cash flow, great returns, privacy of offshore investing, which we can discuss on the call, enjoy the tax benefits, we can talk about that on the call, and you get to enjoy incredible lifestyle. And if you like what you're hearing, if it resonates with you, then book a call with me or one of my members of my team, and we're happy to walk you through, deal with your specific situation, and see if we have a fit. Sound good? All right.